They'll be calling you a radical, back to the anti-nuclear fight, back to the reality, back to the truth of the Pacific genocide. Fukushima's not going away, out of vogue, in vogue, so used to the news cycle, so used to the contemporary freaking shiny ball rover, go get the stick. Bullshit. Look, I'm going to talk a lot about the Oregon fish numbers. Hang in there with me. I'm going to talk a lot about the Pacific genocide, the epic denial, cancer, the cancer epidemic that is ravishing this country post-Fukushima. Look, I'm going to grab this camera, we'll go for a walk. Let's talk about this. First and foremost, we're going to talk a lot about the salmon numbers. The salmon numbers in California, they're gone. They're on the verge of extinction. Southern Oregon, they're gone, on the verge of extinction. As you move up, you get to the Bonneville. So the Bonneville right now is at 240,000. That number is a catastrophe drop. Now we'll see as they get the, the late run in the end of August, but this number is going to come in as a catastrophe. I mean, they're so far below. I mean, we're talking 20% of where they should be. Last year, 1.3 million. They're not even going to get 30%, and that's by volume. Okay, the whole Puget Sound, immediate emergency closure. So let's go to Alaska. Okay, now this is important. All hands on deck. Now hear me on this. This is really important. The Kenai started off with this just whoosh, massive run, and I talked to my native friends up there, and I said, no, don't get excited about this. This is not good. And they've said, these are old Native Americans have told me that they've never seen this in their life, ever. The peak happened a month early. They came in early. Look, they peak on around the 24th, the 23rd of July. They peaked 3 freaking weeks ago. It's already peaked. There was no early trickle run. It just came whoosh. And they're like, well, year over year. I says, that's all that is the runs went like this, whoop. And they're like, well, you're right, because there's much what they call the whites. The whites are not good. That's because big fish eat little fish, the plankton, the sardines, they're gone. So they've moved north, they're running early. Now that means if they're running early, they know, just like the whales. So the same hypothesis on the whales as the salmon. Now look, this is my work, you'll get this nowhere else. All the marine biologists, Kevin Blanch, Ed Ricketts on Balco, all the marine biologists sit in their glass houses that make hundreds of thousands of dollars who do nothing. They all should be jailed. Every last one of them at Berkeley, at Stanford, all of them should be jailed. So the whales, for 2 years in a row now, have been giving birth as far north as Monterey. Even further north than Monterey. They give birth way down in Mexico. They're out of food. They're starving to death. Okay, the humpbacks. The humpbacks, the big event. Let's go to Hawaii and watch the humpbacks return for Christmas. They didn't return. The guy comes out and says on his one boat, I got 3 miles out and I seen a few. Bullshit. I talked to people that were on his boat. All he was trying to do was remember, these guys charge $450 a day to well watch, $450 a day to go salmon fish. Oh, sorry, bro. El Nino, little wind. Come back next year, spend your money, get drunk, stay in the hotels. Here, write me a check. They're liars. They didn't make it. It's never happened, ever. You talk to natives in Hawaii, it's never happened, ever. They know. This is a white guy from here who's married a native. He tries to tell me. He says, oh, they're smart. You're full of shit. This run's happening early because the salmon, they know. The cycle they go through, and we can just raise them in farm. No, they have to lay the egg. The egg goes from this to this. Boom. You get the eggs. Oh no, we can just freaking grow our own food, huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, Yeah, we got 7 billion farmers now. We're going to grow it. In your apartment? Fuck, it's so outrageous, the apathy that's going on. So the Copper River numbers. Come get your exclusive. Talk about liars. Think about what one big tub of Copper River salmon goes for $10,000. You don't think they lie? Well, their number's sitting right now by volume. That run's almost over. That run's almost done. That run's done in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. That run is sitting right now by volume at 60% of what it was last year. Okay, by number. By weight? Oh, we're talking probably 20%. They're not big, they're not thick, as they call them, the whites. I'm telling you, You know, genocide, genocide. I've never said the ocean was going to go extinct. I've never said the ocean was dead. I've never said that. Don't group me in with all that. Don't even post there. If my story's not about hope and about fight back, I mean, I was given 0.06 chance to survive AML, OS de novo in my body post Fukushima. Fukushima is ravishing this country with cancer. And if you don't believe me, oh, what are you, Madame Curie? What are you, Madame Curie? Radiation doesn't cause cancer. Look at the own freaking radiation detection dishes by RadNet themselves, the government's own data. They signed executive orders raising the legal limits. How many times? RadNet, Gina McCarthy, head of the EPA, crashed. I mean, where is the accountability on Gina McCarthy? I mean, it is so outrageous that she just walks. These government serfs. So I'm talking to my friends, my native friends in Washington yesterday, the state of Washington. So they go back to D.C. Here's what their words were to me. They met with the head of NOAA last month. They says, we were blown away how ignorant and lack of knowledge the head of NOAA knew. They don't know anything. Same with Gina McCarthy, EPA. There's a serfdom-handed jobs. Same with the NRC. So all hands on deck in New York. Indian Point's trying to pull Exelon. You know, Obama propped up the rats. They're trying to pull this dog and pony show. They're trying to pull this off to buy Fitzpatrick. It's a club. When are you going to wake up? You know, somebody sent me, you know, Mahalit Falls. Yeah, it's a club. When are you guys going to wake up and realize that these guys freaking, that's the way they play? I mean, that's the way these guys play. So, they're trying to buy the reactor to tap into the renewable fund. The renewable fund was never set for nuclear. Nuclear is the actually opposite. So, as far as California, these propagandists are trying to write, oh, Diablo makes up 20% of the California. Yeah, just like San Onofre made up 12. Liars. They do nothing but lie, 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 lie. Because that's all this industry has. This industry is built on lies. All it is a cash cow, looting, rip-off bunch of rats. They lie, 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 lie. That's all they do is lie. I don't know what this fucking rat's doing up here. Oh, I'll go put the camera right in his fucking face. See, that's how these fuckers play. They fucking try to sneak around and watch what the fuck you're doing. When, you know, they're called white shirts, by the way, if you want to know. So here's the deal. When you're doing activism, whatever, these people are so ignorant that they don't realize that you're actually trying to save them. You're trying to save them. They think they're on the winning team, the liar winning team. So they're trying to loot the fund. So I'll be in New York, it looks like the 8th or the 9th of August. Now, in San Onofre, Diablo Canyon, they make up negative upwards. I said negative 7%, but it's much, much more than that. They make up negative, massive amounts of energy because what happens, it takes a huge amount of electricity, and they all have diesel generators. They all blow up. How about the diesel? Oh, it's clean, leaking into the freaking Hudson. What, diesel? Leaking into Lake Ontario? Oh, it's clean. Look at the, oh, we've lowered the cost in the UK of cleanup on nuclear on Sheffield down to 154 billion. That's all. We're clean. Nuclear waste stored everywhere. You know how much freaking electricity it takes to keep those spent fuel pools cool? What's a spent fuel pool? What the nuclear waste all stored on site? What's a uranium mine? What's your uranium tailing? What's security freaking gathered around? What's all these hearings and meetings? What's all these people traveling around? What's this government subsidy? What's Price Anderson? What's the UN Charter? What's the IAEA? Well, I mean, this whole thing is nothing but looting. Clean? Oh my God, can you believe the lies they've shoved down? Nuclear is dirty, dirty. It's the filthiest, dirty, and mass murder freaking bunch of bullshit there ever was. Ever. So that's what it is. Fucking asshole. So, stand tuned. You know, look, all nuclear hacktivists, all hands on deck. I use this little camera because I can conceal it and I can keep it in my hand. These guys will play intimidation games with it. They're called white shirts. They're everywhere. They're all over me. Every day, all day now. When we were at the San Onofre here, and I never seen anything like it. You can ask Peter. You can ask freaking, you know, Kurt. These guys that are with me, Nancy, all of them, my little, you know, our group. They have private security that follows me around now, whether private, and you know, and I'm talking to them. I mean, you can see, I mean, they're so obvious. They're plainclothes cops that follow me everywhere. I mean, this guy walks up to me and flashes his badge to me because I'm holding my sign in front of the hearing in Laguna, or excuse me, San Juan. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Was that supposed to intimidate me? Look, I don't believe in violence. I'm a peace activist. I think violence is absolutely ridiculous. You know, all it does is create more violence. It doesn't solve anything. Johnny got his gun. I don't believe in the whole thing. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm a communist. You know, I like to be in my community. I like to freaking communicate with other people. I like to be able to walk down the street and be able to talk to friends, you know. And I like, you know, my old neighborhood policemen and cops. I like those guys, you know. This whole military industrialized complex that the globalists have pulled on you, you know, which nuclear is their baby. Here he comes back again. I'm gonna go have a talk with this dude. You know, this guy. That's how they play. They follow me everywhere. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing to me, because look, this is a dangerous gig, and we have these guys on the ropes. You know, by the time they come and talk to me, and I talk to them all the time, I'm like, what do you got in with me? You know, a guy fighting for my life with leukemia, trying to save you. By the time they're done, I usually got them buying beers. Of course, the doctor says I can't drink beer no more. I mean, I don't know. So, look, hands up, don't nuke. Hands up, don't nuke. This is about hope. The ocean's not going extinct. You are. You know, they're not going to kill it. It's going to fight back. She's going to fight back in an epic wake. In California, wow. You know, all you guys that grew up in LA and all that. I'm a surfer, bro. Catch a good vibe or what? Because your parents moved from Ohio or Michigan or Massachusetts or Florida. Fuck. Please. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. The apathetic fucking thing, fucking goats. They've been hypnotized. So stand tuned. You know, we'll stay on these numbers, but this isn't good. You know, the Kenai already peaked. The peak's over. The peak's over. The number already dropped dramatically yesterday and the day before. The peak's over. That peak happened freaking so early, unbelievable. I mean, they're racing. They're going crazy. They said they never seen anything like it in these early days. It went mad. Yeah, they're racing. This is a fight. They're fighting to freaking survive. That's the way it goes. The wells, more wells have washed up dead on the coast of California in the last freaking 18 months. These are wells, 600,000 pound miles. What about all the starving to death sea lions? What about the sardine collapse? What about all the dead tide pools? You know, the dead tide pools in California. I've never been to Canada, or I've been to Canada. I haven't been on that coast. I don't know up there, but I sure know California's coast like the back of my hand. I've walked every square inch of it, all of it, more than once in my life. This year that I did was not the first time. There were areas that I tracked and every day. Those tide pools are empty, but that does not concern you. You know, your fairy tale real estate freaking bubble, your hairspray masquerade party. You know, stand tuned. This fight, Fukushima's not going away. This fight's on, the Great Pacific Genocide. You know, cancer, this is about hope. I'm alive. I'm alive against all the odds, you know. And I'll be back in the street. That's where we meet soon. I'll be San Diego. Hopefully I'll be there for the Oceanside hearing on the land decommission on the 26th. That's important. You know, of course in New York, you know, Indian Point, Fitzpatrick trying to pull this loot job. We're not going to let them. Turkey Point down there. Australia on the uranium mines. You know, yeah, I know you get burned out, and these, you know, these podcasters and whatever, half of them I set up, I created. They sit and interview each other and come by you and hold hands and say you're getting nowhere. You know, get out in the street. That's where we meet. You know, let's be community. Let's be a community. Let's talk to police, not law enforcement. Let's talk to police. Let's have conversations with them. Let's hold our hands out. Shake. That young girl who put her hands out there and you see that military thing, boy, photograph of the century. Come on. Come on. This is a community. We all live in this community. We're all in this together where you like it. You can hunker down with your gun and go bars, but you're in this community because the jet stream told me so. This earth is round, and the jet stream, Fukushima, made us all one big family, you know, because we're all exposed to that because we all breathe air. All of us breathe air. I got news for you.